Hi Flosstube, I'm Pam. Welcome to my channel. This is Flosstube number, looking at my notes, number 37. And today is Monday, June 28th. Really wanted to say July again. It feels like July. It's so warm, so hot. We'll talk about that in a minute. Anyway, I would like to welcome my returning viewers. Thanks for coming back. And if you're new here, welcome. I hope you stay a while. This is a channel, if you're new here, about cross stitch. Mostly about the things that I'm stitching and the things that I've purchased and some life updates and some rambling stories and sometimes some like brain resets because my brain shuts off all the time. And that's it. I think that's all my channel's about. We are back inside today because it is warm. It is warm in the Northeast, and I say that knowing that it is brutal in other parts of the country right now. The Northwest, for you folks out in the Northwest, holy moly, that's some serious heat going on. But it is warm here and it's very humid, the dew point. I grew up with a dad who's like really into the weather. So if you're not into the weather, I'm sorry, but I like to talk about it. The dew point is up in the 70s, which if you do not live in an area with humidity, what that means is the air feels like you can drink it. It's very moist. I know some people don't like that word. I'm sorry. The air is very wet, so it makes it not fun to be outside. So hence, I'm back inside. There's no filming in front of the birds today. But what that has allowed me to do is we can see our flowers again, which I'm jumping ahead of my notes, but that's okay. A huge thank you to Janice for this week's flowers. That's not working. I can't seem to get my hands. Can't get my hands in the right place. Anyway, thank you, Janice, for this week's flowers. And I want to re-thank, I'll have to look at my notes. I'm not a good memorizer. Nell, Jean, and Linda for last week's flowers. We didn't get to see them last week because we were outside on the porch. That's not all the flowers from last week. What I do with my fresh flowers is every week I buy fresh flowers, and last week's flowers, the ones that are still good, go over here, and the new flowers go over here. Yes, so thank you ladies. I have a buy me a coffee link down in my description box, so if you enjoy this video and you would like to support my channel and help provide some fresh flowers for the backdrop in my videos, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not into the buy me a coffee link, that's okay too. I still love having you here. I love this community, and I love making the friends mostly. Mostly that's why I started my channel. That's not even a mostly. Well, it is a mostly because secondly, I started my channel because I needed to talk about cross stitch, and the men in my house didn't want to hear it. So thank you for listening to me ramble about my craft. It's not really a craft for me. It's like a hobby. A craft for me implies that like it's something I'm really good at and I'm creative with. And for some people, cross stitch is that. For me, it's sort of like stress relief, and it's a hobby that I do every day. Except this week, I didn't stitch every day. That's okay. All right, I need to get back on my notes because I told my son number one is babysitting the dogs today in the basement while I film. Usually it's my youngest, but he is house sitting for my sister this week, and he's not here to harass. So I had to harass my other son, who is less pleased than my youngest usually is. So I have to do this fast, and I can already tell that it's not going to be that sort of video. Okay, some things that I want to say before we get into my whips. I host a Hawk Run Hollow Stitch Together on Zoom twice a month During the summer, it's twice a month. It is the 2nd and 4th Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you are interested in joining, if you are stitching a Hawk Run Hollow pattern and you are interested in joining and you have not already filled out the Google sign up form that is in the description box below, and you just have to fill out the form and I'll send you the email link usually the day before, and then you can hop on with us. If you've already filled it out, you don't have to do it again, because then I'll just have your email twice or 3 or 4 times, and I only need it once. The last one the last one was last week, last Thursday, and there were 19 of us on. That was the biggest one so far. I got a little nervous, like, oh my gosh, what if there's too many people and we can't all see each other's faces on one screen? But it worked out. It was fine. It was a fantastic group of folks. What else do I want to say? Oh, also, in July, there is a possible conflict with the 4th Thursday. So after I just finished telling you it's the 2nd and 4th Thursday of every month, the 4th Thursday in July might have a conflict for me. We are supposed to be camping, and we will be camping unless the weekend looks like a washout, at which point I don't mind losing the little bit of our camping reservation fee to not, we camp in tents, and I don't want to tent camp if it's raining. So I don't mind losing out on the little bit of our camping reservation in order to stay dry and happy. So if it rains, it'll be on the 4th Thursday. And if it doesn't rain, we'll be camping. And I think if I need to reschedule it, I'll put it on the last Thursday, because there are 5 Thursdays in July this year. But the next one is going to be next week, Thursday, July 8th. That's not next week. That's the week after. Thursday, July 8th at 7 p.m. Eastern. So I'll remind you again next week. Okay. Moving along in my notes. Life update. We already talked about how hot it is. It's hot. And yesterday afternoon, I sat out by my pool and I got sunburned under my umbrella in the shade. Like, how does that happen? I mean, I know somebody's going to answer me in the comments and talk about why that happens. Obviously, the sun rays were getting through my umbrella. But yeah, I've got some ouchy legs right now, and I don't know that I'm going to sit outside today at the pool. I might give it another day and let them heal up a little first. But I did have a relaxing afternoon by the pool yesterday. And then we already talked about my son's away for the week, so I can't harass him. Oh, and Saturday, I went up to the World in Stitches for their second Saturday, last Saturday stitching group, and it was a small crowd this Saturday. I'm assuming because this is a big vacation week, but I had a good time. I didn't even buy a lot either, so we'll get to that when we get to haul, but not a whole lot of purchasing on my end. Okay, we are moving right on to WIPs. It might be a fast one, because I don't want my son to be angry. He doesn't get angry. He's so even-tempered, it's almost a little annoying. Okay, so every week I show this. It's the Pixels That Made Us by pixstitch. It is a weekly stitch-along. The info for this is in my description box. It's a charity stitch along, and so there's like, you have to make a donation to Child's Play and then send that receipt to Justin at Pixstitch in order to do the SAL, which is ending soon. It ends in July, and so I'm not sure what happens with that after it ends, but it's going to spell out gamer. It is almost done. I've got the G and the A and the M and the E. The E is not backstitched yet, and this is part 1. Oh my gosh. I usually have the next release, it releases on Mondays. I usually would have this already printed out, and I don't yet. Second part. My stitchy bug really I lose it in the summer. It's okay. It will all work out. I will catch up. So this is part 1. I haven't finished it, so I'm behind again. And that's okay because there's only 4 parts now, and I should stitch up that R pretty fast. So the R is characters from Super Nintendo. And yeah, the only one that's really recognizable right now is Yoshi because I haven't finished part 1. It's okay. I'm stitching it on 16 count white Aida, the kind that comes in like a tube from Michaels. So I imagine I will work on that this week, but I probably will not get caught up. We will see what happens. I've been watching a lot of TV at night with my husband, which is strange. It's not our norm. Usually he watches TV and I stitch in another room. So that's why I've been getting less stitching done. It's okay. Then I got out for Thursday for our Hawkhorn Hollow Stitch Together, a year at Hawkhorn Hollow by Carriage House Samplings. And I had not touched it since the previous Stitch Together. So I am still plugging away on this blue dress in the June block. This block needed to get finished this month because it was called on my WIPGO board and it's not finished. I'm so close. So yeah, I got more blue dress done. You think that the problem is that we chat. And so now I'm chatting during the Zooms. I mean, that's kind of the point, right? And I'm not stitching as fast as I would stitch if I were just, I don't know, watching Flosstube or listening to a podcast. But I am touching this project more than I was touching it before. So that was the whole point of starting these Stitch Togethers on Zoom. It's okay. Stitching is fun. I'm not gonna make it work. It shouldn't feel like work unless you are stitching for work. Like if you're getting paid to stitch a model for somebody or something, I mean, then it's work and you should stay on track. But it's just a hobby for me. I can't stress about it. Okay. Then, and I forgot to show this one last week. I worked on this last week and this week, and I forgot to show it last week. I even had it written in my notes, but then I didn't have it over with my stuff, and I forgot to show it. I'm working on, can't get the chart out, Night Walk Down by the Blue Flower. So this was my summer solstice start last year. And so I got it out on its birthday this year. So last week was the summer solstice. So I worked on it then. And then I brought it out again this Thursday because I stitch with my mom on Thursday mornings, and it was an easy travel stitch for me because I just had some fill-in to do. And then I took it with me to stitching group at the World in Stitches because again, it's easy stitching versus like working on a 40 count. The fabric is 32 count vintage tarnished silver by Lakeside Linens. And here she is. Here's where I'm at. So I worked on, do you see how there's white, but then there's 2 colors here. There's like a deep blue color and then like a teal. I worked on filling in the teal part. And then down here, I filled in this flower and I stitched this flower and I stitched this leaf, which had to come out like 3 times to get restitched. And I filled in white diamonds. So yeah, I do want to say that Janine McGowan, who is the designer of the blue flower, charted that deep teal that I showed you is charted to be, I can't even see it because, hold on, let me get out the pattern for a sec. Seaweed by Gentle Arts, which apparently was like a one of a kind, it was like a specialty one-off floss that's not part of their regular line. So I mean, if you have it in your stash, fantastic, but if you don't, you can't get it. So I had started doing, you can blend to DMC is her suggested conversion, which is what I did with this flower, like the outer edge of this flower, and the first 3 little diamonds down here. I don't think they almost blend in, so they're hard to see. But then Forbidden Fiber nope, Stitchy Box have this silk on their site called Witchy Water, which is a limited edition. So that's the word I was looking for before. Seaweed by Gentle Art was a limited edition. And I thought that this was a good substitution. So I've started subbing in this. I didn't take out the places I already did the blend. It's okay. In person, you can see the difference, but I don't care. So I've subbed in Witchy Water by Stitchy Box, which is a limited edition French spun silk. And I got 2 skeins of it because the dress, I think her dress is supposed to be that color too. So that's a lot of dress. I could be wrong. I probably am wrong, but. So this I'll show it while it's out. This just got called for me to finish a page on WIPGO for July. So, but not the page that's already done. I'm gonna have to stitch a whole page, which is like a third of the chart that hasn't been started yet to cross off that WIPGO block. So we'll see how it goes. And then lastly, I got out Land That I Love by Country Cottage Needleworks, and this was gifted to me by Stephanie Campbell. Oh, Stephanie, I'm messing up your name. Stephanie Campbell Weitzman? I probably am totally wrong. I apologize, Stephanie, but she gifted me the chart and a super cute project bag. And I said that I would stitch it up fast and then gift out the chart as a giveaway for you folks. So I thought I should work on it a little bit, and it was easy stitching also to bring with me to Stitchy Group at my LNS. And I didn't get as much done as I was hoping I would. I'm stitching it on 20 Count Honey by Be Stitch Me. It's an Ada. And I got the banner along the top done, and I started on the vine down the side. So not as much stitching done on that as I would have liked. I have a feeling this is not going to get done till next year. It's okay, right? It's okay. That was it. That's all I worked on this week. Then what comes next? Haul. I am a part of Be Stitch Me's Fabric of the Month Club. And I get the 20 count Ada, and I alternate between getting the color and the neutral. And I think this must be the color. So it is called Neptune. It is really pretty blue. Yeah, that's pretty true. So a really pretty blue. Don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I am thinking during the pandemic, when I was not heading out into the world as much, I really wanted to be a part of like a Fabric of the Month club because I wasn't getting to my LNS. But now that I'm getting to my LNS on a regular basis, at least once a month, I can purchase fabric from my LNS. Even if I could just purchase a random piece of fabric and pretend it's a Fabric of the Month club. So as much as I love Be Stitch Me's fabric, I'm thinking of letting it go because I really want to be intentional about where I'm spending my crafting money. And Brandy at Be Stitch Me is a wonderful place to spend your crafty money. But I have an LNS that I want to make sure I always have a physical location to shop. And in order to make sure that happens, I have to spend my money there. And I'm trying to be more in control of my crafty budget, which is not always easy. So I think that I'm gonna try to start allocating more of my crafty budget towards my LNS versus virtual shopping. So it's hard though, because I love getting a piece of fabric in every month. Maybe I should just finish out the year, right? What do? I don't know. It's like I'm trying to solve all the world's problems. It's just fabric, Pam. It's just fabric. Okay. Then when I was at my LNS, I picked up a chart. This is Gather Here by Hello from Liz Matthews. And yeah, I love this. I can't decide. I almost kitted it up at my LNS, but then I couldn't make a decision. Do I want to stitch it like this, like a dark color on a neutral fabric? Or I have, it's Timberwolf by Seraphim Fabric, and it's a dark blue. It's much darker than this. It's blue like the blue in that wreath up there. And I thought, oh my gosh, this would be pretty on that blue fabric, but with a pale, pale, pale blue floss that would almost show up white on the blue. I didn't want to do white on the blue. I thought maybe it would be too much of a contrast, but a really, really, really light blue on the dark blue, I thought might be pretty. Because I'm also thinking it'll be something that hangs year round in my dining area space. So I don't know. What would you do? As charted, or should I do it light blue on blue? Or even like, it might be really pretty with a white on red. I hate making creative decisions. That was it. That's all I purchased this week. And one of those was a Fabric of the Month club. So I really only got the chart. I mean, I got the fabric too, but that was going to come either way. All right, plans. We are already at plans where this is going to be so fast. We chatted last time about, are you doing Jolly July or not doing Jolly July? And I've decided that I'm not going to do Jolly July. I'm going to do a gifty July. I get to July and I start to get a little panicky about the stitching commitments that haven't been finished yet. And so I have 3 ornaments that need to get done this year, and I've only finished 1. And I have to do I don't have to, but I'd like to make a small for the Stitchin' at the Farm, also known as Frugal Yankee Retreat in November. There are some stitchy friends that I'd like to stitch some things for and send out. So I think that it's going to be a gifty July, where I'm going to get all my gift stitching done. And that also may mean that I am not going to stitch. I'm not going to worry about the stitch alongs I'm part of. I'm not going to worry about my WIPGO things. I'm going to focus on the dog just came upstairs. And my son is going to fail at his babysitting. because we're 25 minutes in, I'm not starting a new video. All right, I apologize for the clickety-clack nails. Hopefully my son can get them corralled and get them back downstairs. They're so bad. Apparently they were thirsty, and now you can probably hear obnoxious dog drinking noises. Thank you. That was like a little exciting field trip for us all. I would film, like last week when I filmed on the porch, the dogs were on the porch with me, but there's a rug out there, so you don't hear their clackety nails. And because I'm sitting at the kitchen table, they get very excited because they think I'm eating. So they're gonna mill around me and clackety clack the whole time. I am drinking my coffee, but there's no food happening here. Anyway, plans, gifty July. And then if by some sort of miracle, I finish all my gift stitching and, or I get bored, first priority is getting Pixels That Made Us finished. Second priority is working on my WIPGO numbers, of which Jessie Marie called July's WIPGO numbers. And in case you haven't seen them yet, number 2, why can't I open up my WIPGO board? By the way, if you are new to Flosstube, WIPGO is a game that Jessie Marie Does Stuff came up with. I have the information for it in the description box below. It's a bingo board that you create, and then she calls numbers, and you have to get the goals that you decided for each block finished. I'm never, ever good at describing this. But, so number 2 got called. So for me, that is to finish Personal is Political. And number 12 got called, which is, for me, Night Walk Down, complete page 3. And I think I haven't stitched page 2 yet, so I think I will make that complete page 2 instead. But yeah. And then this month, I didn't finish my complete 1 block of Hawthorne Hollow, and I still have to get 2 ornaments finished, but that will happen in July because gift stitching is happening. And that just leaves us with a giveaway. So last week I was giving away this super cute reindeer kit. The giveaway is being sponsored by mybobbin.com. They have tons of super cute PDF charts at really great prices, and then these adorable kits. So you might want to head over there and give them a look-see. I wish I was keeping this. So I asked you last week to use the word July in your comments, and 59 people entered, and who won? Connie Crossan won. Yay, Connie! Connie is one of the regular Hawthorne Hollow Stitch Together Zoom stitchers. So yay, Connie, I'm so happy for you. I will say that somebody did win before Connie, and that person had not filled out my Happy Mail form. So that is always a giveaway rule. You have to fill out my Happy Mail form in order to be entered. Well, that's not the only thing you have to do to be entered. But if you have not filled out my Happy Mail form, I will pick another winner, because it's easier for me to, it's hard. I'm such a procrastinator. It's hard enough for me to get to the post office to mail out my giveaways, never mind like, oh my gosh, did I get this person's address or didn't I? So yeah. All right, this week's giveaway is also sponsored by mybobbin.com, and it is a kit with a chickadee on it. I wanted to keep it so bad. It's on, I'm 99% sure it's on Ada, but yes. I don't know what the count is, because I believe that this writing is in Cyrillic. It's not an alphabet I'm familiar with, but I definitely recognize the word Ada. And it comes with the floss and the fabric, and it's super cute. So if you are interested in winning this kit, here are the rules. Number 1, you must be 18 or over so that you can, number 2, fill out my Happy Mail form. If you have already filled out my Happy Mail form previously, you do not have to do it again unless you have had a change in address or you've had a change in your YouTube name. Make sure there's a place on that form to put what your YouTube name is. If your YouTube name is different than your regular name, I'm not gonna be able to find you if you only put your regular name. Number 3, don't use the word giveaway or prize or win or any of those really searchable words that people use specifically to search out giveaways. Usually it's like bots that will then, I don't want a bot to win my giveaway. I want one of you lovely stitchers. And then 4thly, and this is super important, you're going to use the word bird in your comment, B-I-R-D, bird. I originally thought, ooh, they'll have to use the word chickadee. Don't use the word chickadee. I mean, you can use the word chickadee if you want, but all I could think of was like all the different ways that chickadee would end up getting spelled. So definitely use the word bird. That is going to be the one that I put in the YouTube comment generator. And that's it. That's it for me this week. I think I stayed on point, mostly. Also, really quick, bird update. I had so many orioles at my feeder the other day. I think their little babies must have fledged the nest because I had to refill the jelly in my oriole feeder twice. Usually I put new jelly out every morning and they don't eat it all. The other day, they ate it all twice. There were so many orioles. And now I'm seeing there's less oriole action. So I'm thinking the babies have fledged. They're not at their nest anymore. Also, I wasn't having really good action at my hummingbird feeder, and somebody on the Hawk Run Hollow Stitch Together Zoom call told me not to use the store-bought nectar I had and to just make my own, which I knew was super easy to do, but I had the store-bought kind, so I had been using it. And yesterday I had the homemade version, which is 4 parts water to 1 part sugar. And the hummingbird I had just had one little hummingbird, and he was so excited. He just kept coming back. I mean, it was very hot and humid yesterday, so maybe he was just really thirsty and hungry, but it made all the difference, I think, the homemade nectar versus the store-bought. So if you have a hummingbird feeder and you have been discouraged that you're not getting good hummingbird action, I suggest making your own. And if you are making your own, make sure that you're replacing it regularly, even if you think you don't need to. They're so finicky, those little hummingbirds. Okay, that's all I have. Speaking of hummingbirds, Flit from Pocahontas is one of my favorite Disney characters. Every time I talk about hummingbirds, I picture him. I always like the little animal sidekicks. Okay, we are not going off on a Disney sidekick tangent. I will see you all next week. If you are celebrating the 4th of July / Independence Day, if you are, I know I've got some viewers that are international, so this weekend is the Independence Day holiday here in the States. So if you're celebrating, I hope you have a great weekend. And if you are brutally hot, please stay cool, stay hydrated, find some air conditioning, stay safe and healthy and happy, everyone. See you next week. Bye.